So, thank you everyone for coming on here to our first Bold Woman of the Week. And I want to introduce Amelia. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself to get us started?
Sure. Well, first off, Taylor, I want to say thank you so much for including me on your very first interview, and also congratulations on your new reigning title as Mrs. Tennessee. That is such a amazing thing, and you're going to make a huge impact in our country, in Tennessee, and then nationally as well here in a couple months. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to see all the wonderful things that come your way.
Thank you. I'm really excited too. And I'm so honored that you are my first woman and that we're doing this together because this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I was just so inspired by your story even before I met you. Like when I saw you on the Mrs. Tennessee pages when you were kind of posted on there, I just thought, wow, this woman is so cool and I can't wait to meet her. And so I'm just honored that you're the first one to be on here with me. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Well, a little bit about me is, of course, my name is Amelia Bedeau, and I am Mrs. Hamilton County, Tennessee. I'm a wife, mother of two beautiful daughters. I have a 2-year-old well, almost 2-year-old. If you hear a little screaming in the background, she's getting a little crazy. Her birthday's tomorrow, so she's
Aw.
excited. I am a endurance athlete of over 10 years. Ironmans, ultra marathons. Recently did a 75-mile race. It was on foot, yes, on my feet. It was an amazing journey. And I'm also a budding entrepreneur called Iron Mama Events, and I hold different types of running events throughout my community. And part of that money that I raise goes towards my impact fund that goes towards postpartum awareness and resources for women.
I love that so much. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into ultra marathon running? Because you're the first person I've met in person that actually like does it, and I just think it's so amazing. And the amount of determination and grit you have to have is just unexplainable. So can you tell us a little bit about how
Yeah.
you got into it?
Well, I kind of just fell into it. I know that's kind of crazy. So starting out, when I got out of college, I had gained so much weight, and really was not an active person at all. Smoked, didn't live right. And then finally, I was just like, something clicked. Like, this is not the way I needed to live. Like, huffing and puffing, going upstairs, and just being ashamed of myself, pretty much.
Mhm.
And so I started going to my local YMCA, and met a lady there who did Zumba classes. And then she got me into cycling classes. All right.
Love
And
it.
spin classes are hard,
Yeah, I love it. I love
hard.
it.
And then from there, that budded into running.
Mhm.
And I did my first 8K. I jumped right over the 5K. Loved it. And when I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, that is the home of, we have Ironman here. Not necessarily the home of Ironman, but we're known for that. I watched, it was 2017 World Championships, and I watched people going across that finish line, and not just the ones that were fast, but the ones that were out there 16 plus hours crawling to the finish line, pure grit. It wasn't that they were fast, they were just running on pure grit. And I felt really inspired by that. So then I was like, I'm doing an Ironman. And I signed up, started doing a lot of running, biking. And if anybody doesn't know what an Ironman is, that is a triathlon where you are swimming about 2 miles in the river.
Mhm.
And you are then hopping on your bike for, in Chattanooga, it used to be a 116-mile bike through Tennessee and Georgia,
Wow.
loop back in to downtown Chattanooga, and then you go and do a little frolic of a 26.2-mile run.
A little frolic.
Just a little frolic. That's what my friends call running, is
Full
frolicking. Yes.
marathon.
So my first attempt at a full Ironman, I was not successful, but with a lot of determination and just like, all right, I know what I need to do now. I went back and then after, well, I actually had my first baby, went back in 2022 and did it.
Wow.
And that was one of the most amazing accomplishments, other than having my baby, of course.
Yes.
I was only 18 months postpartum.
Wow.
So going back and accomplishing that was such a huge deal. And then from there, the distance keeps getting longer and
Right.
longer. And running actually became one of those things that was easier for me to be able to do with managing life, work, children.
Mhm.
So then running I did an 83-mile race last year. And it
Wow.
was a split race where you do one race in the morning and one race in the evening.
Mhm.
Um, and then so from there, I decided we're going to do a 100-mile race. Um, and so
Wild.
I just have a lot of friends. We call them struggle buddies, and we get together and we end up like signing up for things. Um, but through all of that, I find that the challenges are what define me and make me a better person and have a better mindset and discipline about things. So I know that was a little long-winded, but there's definitely been a journey to getting to that
Yeah.
type of distance.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important that you have friends to do it with also, that it becomes your community. And I've found that so important as I navigate through life and I get older, that having your circle and having your friend group of people that want to see you do better and you can help do better, I think is part of it too, that it becomes its own community in itself and you lift each other up. And I think that's just absolutely amazing. That's
Yeah, after all that, when I moved to Chattanooga, I didn't know hardly anybody. And then when I got involved in the triathlon community, I found some really amazing friends that they're my family.
yeah.
We call them, aunt, uncle, like they are my chosen family. And that's something I can't, a race doesn't win, but through all the challenges and the training, you get really close to people and community is so important.
I love that. So let me ask you a question that I had written down, um,
Okay.
that I think will be awesome to hear what you say. What is a part of your story that people don't see, but that's shaped you the most?
My mental health is something that I have probably struggled with probably my whole entire life.
Hmm.
Younger, I went through a pretty rough divorce in my family, and there was alcoholism in the family. And so learning that I am not what others put me through is very important. And learning that there is more to where you're at in life. So what I'm getting at is after I became a mom, I had to realize that it's not just about me anymore.
Right.
And my children will emulate my life or what I do. They look up to me. And so from there, I've had to make some really hard decisions and really look inward on myself
Hmm.
and and ask questions. Is this suiting what I want my daughters to see in life? Is this what I want them to remember of myself? And so the mental health struggle, I went through a misdiagnosis after postpartum. I was given just basically thrown a pill at
Hmm.
and said, you're fine in 9 months and
Right.
you'll be fine. Well, that wasn't the case. It was things that had built over time and had festered and came up after having children. So I was really confused, overwhelmed, um, and really at a loss at times. So when I was able to learn how to advocate for myself, I realized, holy smokes, this is not something just like so many people go through this in life, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, it's so true.
Nobody talks about it. And can we ask about, how many women have lost their lives
Mhm.
from postpartum depression? It takes 2 years, almost 2 years for somebody to recover from something like that. So I struggled in silence a long time, and I'm breaking that silence.
I love that so much, and I'm so glad you are.
Thank you. So if I can be a voice for other women, because I didn't even know I was going through that postpartum part. There was no education. I mean, we talk about it, but we don't really know or educate women on that.
I know exactly
So,
how you feel because going through IVF, I didn't actually have the blessing of birthing a baby, but I struggled with depression just from all the hormonal changes and the things that we were going through and the doctors didn't really talk to me about it. And like I
yeah,
think you made a great point just now is that you almost don't even know that you're going through it sometimes. You're just kind of like waking up, trying to get through the day, trying to get through whatever stressors you're going through, and you don't even almost realize what's happening to you until you really look deep down inside or you look back and you're like, wow, I was in it and I didn't even know how to handle it, what to do. I wasn't educated. And like you said, it's not talked about very much. So
yeah,
I'm so glad that you're bringing this up because I think this is something that's really important to talk about.
yeah. And then, so this is why my platform, Not Just a Mom, comes into play. Where women sometimes have the mindset that after they have children, too, that's it.
Mhm.
And then they are just kind of kept in that box. Um, and there's so much more out there. And you can be a mom and do all sorts of different things. You can start a business. You
Yeah.
can go start doing pageants at 37.
Mhm.
My last pageant was 2007,
I love it. I
you
love it
know,
so
so
much.
there's so many things that people can do, but getting behind and realizing there is a something going on and working inward is just the very beginning of how to realize where you need to be or where you need to start.
Yes. And I love that you said you're owning and living your truth now because for me that when I started doing that that's when I felt like I started healing is that and even these conversations because I'm still in the process of healing so even these conversations as I kind of navigate through this bolder truth movement that I'm trying to create I'm healing myself too in just opening up these conversations and learning about what you went through or just being able to talk about it I think that's the start, like you said, is that's the start of just that journey of, you know, hopefully being okay in the future,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, so true.
Okay, let me ask you another one.
Okay.
What was there a moment where you had to choose between staying quiet or standing in your truth, and what did you choose?
So just in the last year, I've had to make a lot of hard decisions career wise, and coming closer to God and realizing what my current situation was not suiting me well. I'll just put it that way. Um, and so I had to make a whole change in my life. I decided to start working from home. Then from there, I was like, you know what? I am going to not just live for somebody else's dream, but I want to live also for my dreams too.
Yes.
And so that's where Iron Mama Events was born. And this was just in December.
That's so
Um,
exciting. And I love that you created this business out of something that you're just obviously so passionate about. And I feel like you're going to help so many women also.
yeah. So, and then from there, it actually became part of my platform. And I had a race, my first race in March. Um, called Not Just a Mom, and it was a very small, intimate race. But when I saw the moms running across this finish line with a baby on a hip
Oh my God. That's
and just saying, hey, this was my first half marathon. Thank you for having this for me.
yeah.
Really meant a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then it also meant that it's not just about me, it's about her. It's also about those little girls that didn't get the love that they got. And we're realizing that we have to raise our generation up to understand that they're so much more. They're not just what a whatever anybody puts them through, or like the stigma,
Yeah.
excuse me, of the whatever they say they are, that was limiting beliefs,
Mhm.
because we're so much more. So no matter how messy it is or unfinished, it's really powerful. Um, so I think that's what sets us free too.
I can't
When
wait
we
to
get that
come to
freedom.
one of your races also.
Yes,
I know
yes.
you're planning them kind of like all around the state. So you'll have to keep me posted and we'll make sure to keep everybody in Boulder Truth posted too, because I think this is going to touch a lot of women. And I love the basis of your story of how we're not just into a box that either we feel like we're put into. And I can relate to that so well because I felt like that for a long time, is that you feel like you have to live to a certain standard that society creates or
Yeah.
whatnot. But really and truly, especially as we get older, there's no limits. We can do whatever we set our minds to, and you're the perfect example of that. And I'm just so
Thank you.
excited. I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to come to the first one that
Yes,
when you tell me when.
yes. I'm planning on my second, Not Just a Mom race next March. I don't have an exact date yet, but I'm doing it again. We had a photo shoot for the winner. Well, actually, not the winner, but we chose a mom that we felt deserved to be acknowledged.
I love that.
And so she's going to be having a photo shoot here very soon, and I can't wait to see the pictures. I met a gentleman by the name of Paul David, and he has a worship photography business called Paul David Worship Photography. And this has been a God thing. He started doing our family pictures, and then it became, my pageant photos. And he's never done this before, but he really has an eye and a gift from God. And so he has been doing my pictures for the event, and he has just really captured some beautiful moments and offered up to do a free a photo shoot for this lady. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
I love that idea too. And I think that's going to be so exciting and so much fun and so empowering too, to have
Yeah.
her be kind of the face also.
Yes, yes. And I can't wait to see those pictures and start posting them on the social media to show, like, it doesn't end up being a mom.
Yep.
And another thing too is I used to think I was behind in life.
Hmm.
I took forever to get through college. And then by the time I got out of college, I didn't find the job that I thought I was going to get. And I just felt stuck.
Yeah.
And um, I go through a lot of shedding seasons, and we all do.
Yes.
I realized that the boyfriend I was with was not the one,
Mhm.
and that's okay. And then from there, I found my husband right after. And it's just a journey, and you have to listen to God and let Him lead you to the pasture that is greener.
I was going to say, God puts us in places that we need to be. We just need to have our eyes and our hearts open to seeing what He needs from us, you know?
Yeah. Like God was like, you know what, Amelia, move to Chattanooga.
Hmm.
There's jobs there. But I didn't realize my husband was actually downstairs at the apartment complex.
Oh my gosh, that's how I met my husband too.
Thought I heard that during the pageant, and I was like,
Yes.
we kind of have the same story.
Oh my gosh, that is wild. It's just it just goes to show you that like same thing that happened to me. I felt this calling to Knoxville and I made it work and I made it happen and I didn't know what I was going to do or why and I met my husband like right away and it just works out and now here we are all these years later.
Love that.
I know. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to ask you one last question.
Okay.
What is your bold her truth, and what do you want every woman that's listening to take away from your story?
My bolder truth is that I've already said it,
Yeah.
but you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. Don't give up. And also, failure does not mean failure.
Yes.
Failure is growth over time, which leads to success.
Hmm.
And you may find that the thing you were looking for was not really what you were looking for.
Hmm.
And it might be even more than what you expected.
I love that so much. I was actually thinking about that the other day is, when I reflect back on my life and the things that have happened and you look at the word failure, you think, oh man, I failed. But really it's just that you didn't get what you thought you wanted at the time. And I feel
Right,
like God puts us into positions or situations for growth. And I think that the moments of, failure are the moments, like you said, where you do grow so much. And if you didn't have those trials and tribulations, neither of us would be sitting here today. I mean, it's just,
right. And we wouldn't have a good story to talk about
that's
either.
true. That's so true. So, is there anything else you want to talk about or tell us before we go? How to
Well,
maybe connect to your, maybe how to connect to your business or anything like that too?
yes, yes. So my business is called Iron Mama Events, and I have an event coming up in June 13th, I believe that it is. It's Chicken and Waffles Festival in
Ooh,
Chickamauga, Georgia.
I love it.
So you get to, it's literally the Chicken Waffles Festival, and it's a 5K fun run, and people are going to be dressing up in waffles and
Chicken
chicken and
soup.
crazy outfits.
Love it.
I am ecstatic about this. So it's the first one that they've ever had in that area for chicken and waffles. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm working on a couple of fundraiser events for Hamilton County Coalition for Overdose Awareness and Prevention. We're working on having a Narcan training within this event. We haven't fully ironed everything out, but I'm looking at possibly a gala. It's the first time I've ever organized a gala.
I love
Um,
that.
I'm kind of thinking a masquerade. I think that would be
Ooh,
really cool.
yes.
And then I also work with Warrior Freedom Dogs, and we are working on having a service dog show where we
Very
are
cool.
honoring service dogs that are everyday workers for veterans. And these veterans are, postpartum, not postpartum, sorry. They're having, PTSD and things like that. And these dogs have changed, literally have changed the whole trajectory of these veterans' lives. And I'm really hoping there's a really cool dog trainer that has been on America's Got Talent. I'm hoping she says yes. But if that happens, that is going to be a really big deal. And we're looking at that to be probably May.
Awesome.
Um, so a lot of things that I've never done before. But again, if you don't try, nothing ever happens
Mhm.
and you stay where you're at. So this is a really big deal for Iron Mama Events. I'm looking at growing her as just more than just a running company, but fundraisers for
Yes.
different things. So when I left the pageant last week, some could say, man, I came out like down and, like Debbie Downer, whatever it could have been. But I left so empowered, and I was driving down the road home and I was like, this idea, oh, this, I can do this.
You gave
And
me chills because I was feeling the same way.
yes. And so I'm like recording like, hey, do this idea, let's look at it more, and I just felt so empowered.
Mhm.
And that's how you should leave those types of events.
Mhm.
And when I was on stage, I felt the electricity of just the excitement for
Yes.
you and all the other girls too. And it was just really amazing. And I left, I may not have won, but I came out with so much more. I left with a sisterhood,
Mhm.
17 women that I have never met in my life, and now we're besties and
Yeah.
we support each other, and we're doing events together. We're, hey, this volunteer opportunity is here. Let's go here, because it's not about who's doing more. It's how you work together and servanthood. This is where Mrs. America came from. It's
Exactly.
not about the crown. It's what you do to get to the crown.
Hmm.
So, but yes, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a whole
No,
rant.
no, I mean, what you just said too hit the nail on the head because the reason why I signed up for this pageant for Mrs. Tennessee America was not just, like you said, for the crown, for the title, but I knew that I would meet so many amazing women and I wanted to be in a room with women like you that are uplifting, that are doing, wanting to do better for themselves, wanting to do better for their community, and just have set such a high standard for themselves and wanting to help everybody else. And I think it's so important to surround yourself with people like you. And when I walked into the tea party for our orientation last week, I felt it immediately. And I just knew I was so validated in that I signed up and I did it. And even though I was deathly nervous, I was literally shaking walking into that orientation. Like afterwards, I felt so good and so excited. And like you said, just very, very empowered and really inspired because we all have such different stories too. And that's why I wanted you to come on first because like I said, I was just so inspired by your story and I think you're just amazing and I'm so glad that we met and I can't wait to nourish our friendship and get to know each other a little bit more and I'm just grateful to know you now. So,
Yes, yes. I always, through a challenge, I always meet somebody that I find inspiration from,
mm,
and I find that from you.
thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
and if you're just, if in just the weekend that you've inspired me, I know you inspired so many other people and you don't even know it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it up because we're running out of time on our Zoom call. But thank you so much for being my first bold woman of the week. I'm very,
Yes.
very
Thank
excited.
you for having me.
And when we get off of here, I will make our video. But also, if you could send me maybe a link or something that I can put in this video for Iron Mama events, I think that a lot of people would be really interested in getting involved in it. So I will share
Yes.
that with this
Yes, because
video.
I'm always looking for volunteers too. Like, so, if somebody's like, I don't run, I don't do that. Well, you might one day,
Right.
um, but that's how it starts, is
Yep.
volunteers.
Yeah.
And that's how I got inspired. So, but yes, I have many opportunities, and even if it's just come out to cheer.
Yeah.
But yes, I will send you all my links and my socials. And again, thank you so much for having me come on as your first person. Really means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, I will let you go. I hope you have a good night
You
and
too.
thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Yes. If you need any help with anything, just let me know.
Okay, that sounds
All
good.
right.
Thanks,
See ya.
Amelia. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.